Hey all, sorry for the crappy lighting, but we're in the garage getting ready to head out and do some work on Project Mouse. Today we're going to extend the differential breathers. When you lift the vehicle, you want to extend your breathers as well, so that way you don't droop out and break the breather tubes, pull them from their stock location, like I did when we were at the exhaust shop doing the exhaust. Where you mount your breather is up to you, how much tubing you use is up to you, what type of breather end cap you use is up to you. I'll show you guys what I did with Project Mouse. I used some stock Mopar breather end caps, some 1/4-inch inner diameter vinyl tubing, and this is to keep dirt, debris, etc. out of your differentials from the vent. So let me take you outside and show you guys what I'm going to do, and we'll go from there. As I was saying, when doing a lift on a vehicle, you want to also make sure you extend your differential breathers. I haven't done it yet on Project Mouse, so we're going to do it today. I got some grommets to protect the tubing for how I want to run it in the rear. I got 10 feet of 1/4-inch inner diameter tubing and some Mopar diff breathers. And you can see here, you can see this differential breather. I'm going to go in the back and show you guys how I'm planning on running this, and we'll go from there. So back here, you guys can see on the ground, I pulled the fuel filler line protection panel off, which also is good because I need to clean it out. You guys can see the diff breather hanging underneath. The game plan is to run the tubing and exit out of the filler. Going topside, you guys can see I've already put a small hole where I'm going to run my breather, and that should keep it high enough to keep it dry. Let me get this line run and mounted, and I'll go from there. Alright, so for me to get my step bit in here, I had to take the whole door filler cap off. It's simple. 2 Torx bits. We're going to punch this hole out so we can run a rubber grommet. And the whole reason I want to run a rubber grommet is to protect the vent tube from chafing on the steel here. So I'm going to finish stepping this hole out, and then we're getting really tight up to the fill neck here. So I'm going to step this out a little bit more, and we're going to go from there. So here's the finished product. I don't know how well it's going to zoom in, but you guys can see where it comes up. There's a rubber grommet there. I ran it along the fuel line down, and then I'll crawl underneath the Jeep and show you guys, but you can kind of see how it runs along the tank. There is a zip tie here holding it at the frame, and the reason for that being is if I overextend the length I already allotted for it, then that zip tie will break and allow me an additional like 6 inches of droop, but the line will not break. So I'm going to go do the front end, and I'll show you guys what I do up there. Okay, you guys, so the front diff breather is right here, stock, which is a great location. It's high. You basically have to have your engine underwater to even get water into your breather. The problem being is there isn't enough slack once it runs down the firewall and to the front diff. You guys can almost see it from up here. I'll crawl underneath and show you guys what we're working with. And basically, I'm just going to keep the stock mounting location. I'm just going to extend it. And this front end should not be anywhere near as labor intensive as the rear. So let me get going with that, and I'll show you guys what we end up doing. Alright y'all, so here is the front breather. And you guys can tell there's a little slack, but not enough for this iron roxbury link to droop out. We pulled it tight once already when it was on the lift to do the exhaust. So we're going to add a couple more inches to it. And then, like I said, it should be fairly easy. Let me get this pulled and I'll show you guys what we're dealing with. You guys can see the factory tube has a heat shield on it. That's to protect it from the exhaust and whatnot. All the heat, the catalytic converter's right there. So I'm going to transfer this over to the new pipe, and it'll be in. Okay, you guys can see stock location up top. Runs down the firewall, and then mates up with the upper control arm. I zip tied it to the upper control arm to clear the drive shaft. And you guys can see where it mounts the front diff. There's enough bunch up here. If it extends out, we should have about 8 to 10 inches of down travel, maybe more. It follows the path of the upper control arm, And once again, I used just a small zip tie, so if it does need to extend further, it can break that zip tie without causing any other issues. So that's the quick and easy of extending vent lines. 10 feet of hose was perfect for front and rear. Hope this helps people out. Obviously, if you have bigger than a 4-inch lift, you'll need more than 10 feet of tubing. Once again, y'all. Oh, and hose clamp them at the diffs, just so if you do have some pulling force, it doesn't pull them out. Thanks. As you guys saw how I did the differential breather extensions on Project Mouse. How you do yours is up to you, depends on your suspension, whether you're running a 4-link, leaf springs, etc. I did what works for my Jeep. Hopefully it helped you guys. The thought process is keep it as high as possible so you guys keep, the breathers out of the water, i.e. water crossings, mud, snow, etc. So hopefully it helped. Have a great day.